Okay, we'll get into that. So, aquí estamos con los matatanes, estamos con Javi, estábamos grabando allá afuera y se me fue una y no grabé aquí, muchachos. So, estamos aquí abajo. Entonces, estamos con el Freddy y el Javi.
Dímelo, ¿qué es lo que es?
No, aquí tú sabes, enjoying una Cool Light, una modelito.
Para refrescarnos.
Sí, hay que refrescarse, ¿qué tú crees?
Claro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
So, una pregunta. Allá afuera ustedes estaban hablando, una de las cosas que estamos hablando y venimos después, era, how was the transition for you from Boston to Cleveland?
At least for me, it wasn't too crazy. I think, when it comes to the weather is very similar. The environment is a little bit different, but not too crazy. So for me, it wasn't too much of a big jump going from where I was at to where I'm at now. So
okay, por el frío.
Yeah, weather, the environment. This is exactly what I was looking for. A little bit more quieter.
Okay.
Better for the kids, better school systems and stuff like that. So it kind of worked out good.
Okay, that's actually pretty cool.
But was it like a unsafe environment where you was at before?
Yeah, mira la risita.
Yeah. I never had issues where I was at. But it's not the
best,
the safest city.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Especially if you're around the wrong people.
Eso es verdad, porque tú creciste en los proyectos.
Yeah.
¿Cómo era eso?
En los caserillos, eso, muchachos, horrendous. Eso era, no podía uno compartir. Era, you gotta keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Hi, bye, and I'll see you later. And, you didn't want to be a part of that. Because once you get caught up in that mix, you're done.
¿Qué? Como que no puede volver.
Every way possible. No, gunshots.
Como que no te puede salir.
O te involucran en cosas que got nothing to do with you. You just live all around the way.
So what did you used to do to be out of trouble? Porque todo está ahí. Lo malo siempre está ahí. Everything's right there.
Everywhere. Even probably here, something could happen. A rapist or some weird ass person, just come and approach you or come into the neighborhood looking for some type of adventure that you're not ready for.
Bro, ¿tuviste el video aquí en la neighborhood? Bro, se le metieron. Somebody went up there in one of the houses up there. They went and robbed their cars.
Mm-hmm.
They put it on the camera. I'm sure your wife is always watching that.
Yeah, Jasmine probably watched it, but no, I don't have social media, so.
Why not?
I'm not into that stuff.
No?
It's too toxic sometimes. I don't got time for it.
Okay.
Gotcha. I was the same way too, but they didn't put me on Instagram, and then I was getting into trouble for looking at the wrong stuff.
Oye, they're PG, bro. They're PG. So tell me a little bit about yourself. So you were born in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
How was the transition from Puerto Rico to Boston? When did your parents decide, you know what? I got to go to Boston. Me voy para Boston.
Yeah. So I moved to the States. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, Isabela, Puerto Rico. I moved to the States. I think I was 10 or 11 or something like that. I think I was 10 in 2001. So, that was definitely a big jump, because coming from Puerto Rico, I didn't know English, I didn't know anybody.
Y ahora no sabe español. No, I'm just messing with you.
Yeah. So I didn't know English, so that was a big thing to kind of overcome and learn as a kid when I was 10. I did have some family and cousins and stuff like that I moved into. So I had some people that I knew. But as a kid moving from a whole different, from Puerto Rico to the States, it is a lot different. Different environment, learning a new language, going to school, not knowing anybody.
The culture,
Yeah. So that was definitely I wouldn't say tough, but it was a lot of work. It was
an impact.
Yeah, it was definitely. It wasn't something that's easy that everyone does, on a daily basis. So, but it was good overall.
That's not bad, bro. Yo llegué aquí, muchacho. Aquí había un frío. I came here in 1992, pero un frío. Y yo nada más sabía decir how about you. So, ¿tú naciste aquí o en la República?
In DR, man.
¿Y a qué edad tú viniste? What age did you come here?
87. I was 60 years old.
How was the transition for you?
I mean, I feel like I was here my whole life as a kid. You know, started school here, first grade. I can't remember much about over there, but yeah, it was cool. You know, this is all I know basically. You know, I don't know much about what goes on over there. I still stay connected, and I try to stay relevant and feed onto whatever goes on.
No, porque tú eres un bachatero, muchacho.
Y típico.
Ay, oye, este tipo. ¿Tú oyes típico, Javi?
Sometimes.
You know about that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Pero el tipo también tiene dominicano en la sangre, ¿qué es lo tuyo?
No, yo sé, pero sometimes not even mucho persona born in DR or familia, they don't listen to that. I have friends, they be like, they don't mess with that, or that's not really their thing. I'm like, oh, okay, I respect that, and not because you are in the culture or part of or born there, it doesn't mean that you have to like it. It's just, you familiarize yourself with, but it's not something that you have to like, it's by choice.
Okay.
Yeah,
that makes total sense. So, how was integrating yourself into school when you first came here, Javi?
Well, again, it was tough, right? Because I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any friends. I didn't know the language at that time. So, I remember, when I was 10 and I, first started, I used to, go to, I think it was ESL, I think it was called. So
I think we all did that.
ESL, yeah.
Todito, loco. Yo duré, no sé cuántos años fue que yo duré en ESL.
Yeah. So I spent a couple hours doing that. Again, not knowing anybody. So that was challenging.
Was it just you or your brothers or like how was it? Who was it?
Yeah, it was just me because my brother is 3 years older than me, so he was in a whole different school. So it
was he already here, or he came with you?
Yeah, he came with me.
Okay.
Yeah, me and my brother Raul, we came together, and my mom. But he was 3 years older than me, so he was in a whole different school. So it wasn't like we were taking the same bus or anything like that. I had a good friend of mine, one of my best friends growing up, Felix, but he was a year younger than me. So even though we were in the same school, we weren't taking classes together or anything like that. So, but again, not knowing anybody and having to learn a whole new language and build relationships and friends and stuff like that, that was.
So
it was new.
So I got a question. We all had that transition here. Obviously, you have 4 children, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you said 13, 10.
5, 4.
5 and 4. Okay. So obviously, your 2 older ones were already in school when they first moved to Ohio.
Yeah.
So how do you think they took that transition?
I think they will. Because especially like Noah, for example, like when he first moved here, I remember when he was like in first grade over there in kindergarten, like that was during COVID.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So he wasn't even in full blown school because he was doing school from home.
Wow. So it must have been hard for him because, Noah's such a nice kid. Siempre habla con la gente.
Yeah. So like from that perspective, it was challenging, but Noah, he's very
outgoing or
outgoing. He talk like he's
like
always,
él viene, he'll have a full blown conversation with you.
He's very social, unlike me.
It'll be nice to have Noah on the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna bring him. We're gonna have Noah on the podcast.
Yeah. I was more concerned about Aiden because
Aiden's your 13-year-old.
Yeah, he's my oldest, and he's more reserved. He's not as social.
He's more like you. Okay,
yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. So, but he got his friends and all that, so it kind of worked out well.
Okay, so is he doing any sports this fall?
I told him he has to.
Okay, because I know he played football a couple of years ago.
He played football, so this year he's gonna do something.
And how you feel about that? Him doing football?
Yeah, that's good. I think it's any sports, it's good for kids. Overall.
Bro, you gotta get Peyton into hockey, bro. Ese tigre va a ser un bacano, loco. Skating, like how he is, bro. Like he'll be and Liam, bro. Déjamelo a mí, yo lo entreno en la pelota. Ese el chiquito, déjamelo a mí en la pelota.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got him.
But for him to decide or to join the football team at that time, was it something by choice, something that he was interested, or you was like, you should try this sport and see what it's like?
No, it was more him. Yeah, I don't really, talk to to the kids into any sport, whatever they want to do, they can do. So
Okay.
he likes football, so he did it. So I told him this year, I don't care what he does, but he got to do something.
Gotcha.
It makes sense because ahora one of the things that that we're seeing with the younger generations, the kids are stuck to a lot of screens.
Yeah.
Like my kids, I have to talk to them. I don't know how many times. Like, bro, ponte a hacer algo. So I totally understand where you're coming from. Like, at least if they're out, they're doing something, they're interacting with people. So you know what? I'm probably gonna go watch that kid. Now Bebo's not playing hockey, so I'll probably go sit down con Javi uno de los sábados que no está haciendo nada y a sentarme. And he could. So I'm running. I have a 16U team and a 12U team. So Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Well, not Wednesday. Wednesday we're going somewhere else. But Mondays and Fridays I have practice. He's more than welcome to come. Like el lunes we're going to Strongsville. Lo voy a poner a correr una loma para allá arriba, loco. Like all the kids. Like they're excited for practice, pero que se preparen. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But how's your relationship with your mom?
It's great, man. I love
my
mom.
sister.
Yeah. My mom.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she's the GOAT, man. She's all I have left. So yeah, it's great.
You know what? That's all I have left too. They like on that aspect, like, all my grandparents are gone, my dad's gone. Like all I have is my mom. So I totally understand what it kind of like we're in the same boat. So
Right.
for me, it was amazing to see him move here because, like, at least because I didn't have anybody growing up. I have family, but like blood, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what
Like
you're saying.
here and, like sometimes nosotros duramos mucho tiempo sin hablar. We'll text here and there because, obviously he's busy. I'm running around, pero like, we're always there for each other. A veces lo veo yo que está jodiendo con una vaina ahí, vengo yo, déjame irme a joder para allá. Like, like, it seems like a relationship that's been going on forever. So, yeah, I'm so happy to be, part of your life, your family, and your kids because, obviously we didn't get that when we were younger, but like.
Well, this is the time. This is the time.
Oh, absolutely. Bro, I can't wait till his younger son starts playing baseball. Once he starts en eso, déjamelo a mí, no te preocupes. Yeah, you don't have to worry about anything else.
Cógelo suave.
No que cogerlo suave. It's just, like you got to give back. You know what I mean? Like, I'm on the back end of it, and like he's on the front end. So.
No, and I understand that, who's better than you? Family.
And
that you are, more than qualified to be.
Thank you,
have
sir.
You have the experience. You was one of them themselves, so you know what they're going through, what to expect, and how to get them sharpen up and get them where they need to be at.
I'll
so
do my
who
best.
like I said, who better than you?
No, it'll be cool, man. Like it's that kid. Obviously all four of his kids are amazing, but that one, like he reminds me so much of Bebo and Manuel. Like siempre están haciendo algo, like and they're very
active.
And they're very dependent on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing. It's kind of like the same person, just at a younger. Maybe that's why I could relate to that kid a lot. And obviously, Junior and more reserved. Entonces, Ashling and Noah. And then Emily. Emily se ha puesto media necia. But
what you mean by that? Like necia? Like,
necia como like como que se ha salido del tieto. That's how they call it. Not in a bad way.
Okay.
Because they're not bad kids. None of these 8 kids are bad. It's just like, the way that they act. I don't know. She's kind of like Peyton a little bit. She's just a little bit older. Entonces, el chiquito, igual que el chiquito. It's kind of like the generations are going and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I have a question. I know your dad passed. Like, how was your relationship with him?
It was good, man. When I used to see him every other weekend when I was in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
So he was a busy guy, always working. He ran a gas station, so he had like his own business and stuff.
Oh,
in
wow.
Puerto Rico, yeah. But he was a good dad, man. I don't have anything bad to say about him. I got to see him every other weekend. He showed me love when I was there, and
Oh, that's amazing.
that's ultimately one of the few things that you can ask for from a dad, just be there
absolutely.
and show love, and he did that.
And guidance también, porque, sometimes, obviously it's hard. But, if you're seeing him on the time, he's giving you the time, that is amazing. Obviously,
Yeah, he's around.
that
He was
shows,
at the
you know,
time.
I see how you are with your kids and your family, todo lo que él hace,
It shows a
familia,
lot.
familia. So obviously you didn't learn that from just out of the blue, like, because you just decided to be this great person. You know, it had to have come from somewhere. Pero, you know, we'll get back. I have a question for Javi when we come back. You know, what would he ask his younger self? I know we're going to ask that. We're going to take a little break. We're here on the Matatanes podcast. My man Javi, mi familia, my brother, my nephew, todo. Aquí está ¿cómo que tú te llamas?
Amazon Papi.
Está heavy.
Y me van a matar por eso.
No, eso no es nada. Eso es. Pero anything, you know, follow the Matatanes podcast. We're going to have athletes. We're going to have kids. We're going to have family members.
Social conversations.
De todo. Vamos a tener de todo. Vamos a tener a Iván y a toda esa vaina. So, Matatanes podcast. Follow them. Hopefully, we get Javi to get his Instagram account para que empiece a tirar este contenido de los Matatanes. Pero we'll be right back.
We're here with the Matatanes podcast. We got Edward, my uncle.
Yeah.
And we got
A big Fred in the building. Big Amazon Papi.
there you go.
De que no era cuá, cuá, cuá.
It's
No,
so
no, no, no.
good.
Thanks for the introduction, bro. You know, we left off que we're gonna ask Javi a question. You know, and this is anybody that comes to my podcast and anything like that. Well, not mine, our podcast. I'm gonna ask them this question, and you know, this was something that for my firstborn daughter, obviously my second kid, and one of the things she said. What would you ask your younger self?
What would I ask my younger self?
Is that the question? No.
Oh.
What will you tell your younger self? My bad. Ya se me fue del otro lado.
What would I tell?
What will you tell your younger self?
What would I tell my younger self? I think I'll tell myself, my younger self, not to be afraid to make mistakes.
Wow, that's
and,
a deep one.
Yes,
you know, be willing to seek uncomfortness. I think that's what I would tell myself, my younger self. Because I think when you're young, you know, and I think it happens with even when you're older too. I think that, you know, a lot of it's just human nature not to seek uncomfortness and, you know, not to be uncomfortable. Because I think.
Wow, be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think the more you do that is the more you'll grow. And the more that you'll get better at anything that you're looking to get better at. I think you have to seek, you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. I think that's what I would tell my younger self. The more you do that, the more you'll grow.
Wow, that's, you know, it's
deep.
It's really deep. And, you know, everybody, I ask that question, like, it gets them thinking. And everything they say, it's like so touching because it doesn't only relate to that person because you listening to what they're saying and you go back, oh my God, that one's deep. Like, you know, Freddie, what would you tell your younger self? I know I asked you this before, but like,
it's basically, you know, not being afraid. That was one of them too, you know. And I'm an overthinker, so
Okay.
that's one of the biggest problems to this day. And I'm still working on it, and I just want to like improve that and keep working on it because of that, it has held me back from succeeding and being in places and putting myself in better situations. And I want to do work 100% on that. You know, it's one of my weaknesses.
you know what? Recognizing your strength and weaknesses. Or you know what? I asked a guy, and he didn't say weakness. He says areas where you could improve, and that it is. Because you know, you can say weaknesses all you want, but like when you think about it, areas that you can improve, we're always improving. Innovators, right?
Of course.
So, Javi, obviously you met your wife when you were 18, 19 years old. I know you told me that. How was that? Like, okay, so she hit you up, you hit her up, like.
Yeah, she hit me up. I'm pretty sure she hit me up. I don't
How
know.
she found you?
I think it was either Facebook or MySpace or one of those social medias back in the day. one of those. Yeah, she hit me up and started talking, and went out, and yeah.
4 kids later.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you know what? Eso igual que la chamaquita que that Junior's dating. Ella le dijo a Ashley, bro, yo me voy a casar con tu hermano.
Yeah.
Las mujeres saben, loco.
Yeah.
Cuando ven, y más ahora en este tiempo.
It's not that they know what they want, but what they're into and what they could find in the person. And of course, during the process, they were able to find out if that's what they really wanted and what they really saw in the person. And, hopefully that's the case, wishing them the best.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, did your mom like your wife at first or no?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, my mom is it takes a little while to kind of win her over.
Okay.
And she kind of sometimes prejudges people, but I think with Jasmine, she didn't have any issues or anything like that. So, so it wasn't that bad.
That's good. It's good, especially when your parents, because believe it or not, like as kids, obviously we all have kids, younger kids, but like you're always looking, especially when your parents are around, you're always looking for their approval. In a way, obviously, they tell us, hey, you could do whatever you want as long as it's productive, but to know that this person, you know what, this is the decision I'm going with, that supports you. I think as a son, it makes you better in a way. You know what? Does that make sense?
Sure.
So, Freddie, how are you?
Doing great, man. I'm always.
No, that's amazing. So, obviously you've been here since Thursday. How's been like your stay in Ohio? Like,
Man, can't complain. Living the life.
that's good, bro. That's crazy, man. Like, when I first met this guy, like he was dating Jennifer's sister. I'm like, bro, tenía los pantalones acá abajo. And I'm like, yo, y este tiguerazo. But then after you get to know him, you're like, he's a good guy. So that's pretty cool.
But it's just the environment where you're coming from, and it's just the fashion. The fashion that's being presented, what you see in videos, your surroundings, school, and something that I was not that I'm fashion, into fashion like that, but it's just like something that you would see all throughout, in the neighborhood, how I grew up, and the slang, the lingo, and it would just became part of me growing up. That's all you know. So that's why it was introduced to me, and it just fell into place.
No, it's fun. It happens. Everybody.
But it did not go with my image or the way I approach or how I moved around. People was like, they will see one thing and then they'll get it. When they get to know me, it was like it didn't add up with the whole thing.
It didn't. Trust me
at all. It was just like threw people off.
I'm a witness myself. Javi, did you play any sports growing up?
Of course, yeah. I grew up playing baseball since I was 5.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. So we have something in common. You know what I mean?
Yep.
In Puerto Rico?
Yeah. Puerto Rico. I played again since 5. Right before I moved to the States, I was gonna play for Puerto Rico. Actually, I was gonna represent Puerto Rico and fly out and play against other countries and stuff. But then that was right in the middle of me moving here. So, yeah. So.
Wow. Is that a big sport in Puerto Rico? Like,
yeah.
It's just like it is in DR.
Yeah. I think the only difference is in Puerto Rico, boxing is huge too. But
yeah.
Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, it is.
Now that you say boxing, Javi loves boxing, bro.
I do, yeah.
Yo quiero que tú hubieras visto la pelea con what was his name?
Cotto? Or
No, Cotto, el chamaquito.
It was Garcia and Haney.
Bro,
okay.
yo, él estaba así, loco, like, yo.
Yeah, it gets crazy.
Bro,
that's one of my favorite sports.
So have you thought about signing any of your kids for boxing?
I have, yeah. I do. I think all my kids should. I think, it's good to not like professionally go into the sport, but at least to know how to defend yourself and all that. It's a good sport.
Why did you show interest in boxing?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, again, I think it's a Puerto Rican thing. Like if you're in Puerto Rico, like just like if you live in DR, like baseball is like kind of all you know, right?
Right.
In Puerto Rico, again, it's baseball. I think number 1, and then
Tito,
boxing.
yeah.
Felix Trinidad, Miguel Cotto. It's just one of the main sports over there. So
it is. Yeah.
That's crazy. Why didn't you get into boxing kind of like professional? I know you said played baseball, but
Yeah, I think it was my mom thing. I don't think my mom wanted me to get hit and stuff. You know how moms are. So.
Yeah.
Me lo dice. Recuerda que mamá me dijo, like when I was going to the Navy, que miraba el cachetú así que venía a la casa. So, okay, but yeah, you still practice boxing.
Yeah,
sense,
cardio
right?
and stuff. It's good. It's a good sport to do.
That's good. Cada vez que una pelea me dice, yo, ven, vamos a ver. Yo, we watching the movie, the pelea tonight.
Yeah.
Damn, that would have been cool. Because I've been one of our wife's cousin. He's from Puerto Rico, but he loved boxing. He's taken me too. It's a big thing. And I'm like, he's been paying Anthony. Él ha pagado like $300-400 for each of us. I'm like, this
Really?
homies. Yeah, we've been to a game like right there in the front. I'm like, this nigga's crazy. He be like, he don't care.
Eso es algo que le gusta.
Yeah, he's very passionate. Very passionate. He go with his Puerto Rican flag, bandana. We go out there and just have fun, and and just the experience, and very thankful for him to take me actually being a part of that. It felt really good. I felt like whoa, this is dope. Yeah.
Okay. Earlier you mentioned you've been with your company for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you get into that business?
They ended up calling me, man. I was looking for a job. They found me, I think, on Indeed or whatever, one of those sites. They called me for an interview. I went in for an interview, and I got the job, and been there ever since.
Okay. What do you do now?
I'm one of the directors of the company. So, my job in a nutshell is to kind of reach out to dealerships, keep them happy, go over reporting and stuff like that. So I'm not making calls to customers and anything like that. I'm more focused on the dealership.
You used to do that though, right?
I did. Yeah. When I started off, I was an agent. So I started off from the bottom and then, worked my way up.
Okay. How was the transition?
From an agent to what I do now?
Yeah.
It was good. I mean, I didn't spend a lot of time on the agent side of things because when I started off with the company, it was the company had started, so it was a brand new company.
Okay.
So it was a startup company. That was when I started with the company, it was like, I don't know, maybe 10 of us or something like that. So it was a new company, and we grew to where we're at now. So when I started off, I didn't spend a lot of time as an agent, like I said, maybe like 8 months, and then they promoted me to a team lead manager, and now again director. So.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Sweet.
That's something to be proud of.
Oh yeah,
bro. Something on another note. I how long have you lived here? Like 3-4 years?
3-4 years, yeah.
So I know you said your brother was gonna come. ¿Cuándo que va a venir? Porque tenemos que hablar con él aquí.
Yeah, you gotta
reach out.
He's like my mom, they'll commit to something and then something happens. He's a busy guy. He works a lot though, so.
Makes sense. Tiene la familia and all that stuff.
He's doing his thing, man.
When's your mom coming?
Another great question.
Oye, está bueno llamarle, decirle, oye, ¿cuándo que tú vas a llegar?
Yeah, I think she's watching boxing right now. She texted me. She's watching.
She like boxing too?
Yeah, she was born and raised in DR, but she moved to Puerto Rico when she was young. So
she was like 17, 18, yeah.
Yeah, so she's
yeah. Boricua.
Yeah, she got that Puerto Rican in her. I think so.
That's crazy. She's watching boxing right now. Pero no dejó que él bolseara.
El de ella no.
El de ella no. Déjame ver otro que lo maten, pero el mío no. That's actually, that's pretty smart. But, would you want your mom to move to Ohio?
I tell her all the time, I move down here because, that way she can be with me. Move into my house. She has a room. I got extra rooms in there that she can use. So.
Y no quiere.
She's old school, so she's used to where she's been living there in Lawrence for like, I don't know, freaking 15 years.
It's been a long time.
So it's hard to, I think older people, it's hard for them to leave where they've been at for so long and move to something new.
That makes sense.
I'm gonna have to depend on someone else too. I don't know if she drives or something.
Yeah.
Where your mom lives?
In the BX.
Still same place?
Yeah. She ain't.
No se sale de ahí.
No. She ain't going nowhere, man.
That's
all
crazy.
she knows.
That's crazy.
Like she came to my neighborhood. She loves it to visit, but she be like, this ain't far.
So
she said it's too quiet. She has
dura
to
un día en
depend
tu
on.
casa y arranca por ahí mismo.
Yeah,
That's crazy,
yeah.
man. Well,
She feels at home. You know, it's the hood. You know, el caserillo y cosas. Pero you know, it's all she know for the past casi 40 años. You know, and no se ve en otro lugar, se siente cómoda. Everything is close by. You know, she don't have to be driving. Everyone knows her. She feels, even though it's unsafe, but she feels safe because everyone knows her. You know, and like nothing has happened ever. And so she's just like, I don't need to put myself or stress you out or give you that responsibility, you know, to be for me to depend on you and stuff like that. She want to be on her own, you know, and do what she's do, and she's cool where she's at.
No, that's good. So, we've been at this for a while. You know, obviously, you know, Javi, thank you for being with us with the Matatanes. You know, Freddy, it's been a pleasure having you. Obviously, que se siga
Expanding,
la
growing.
ocasión. So hopefully you start recording contenido de allá de PA. Javi, come here and we start doing some stuff. We're gonna bring some.
Va a ser el invitado especial.
Yeah, él
De vez en
dice que
cuando.
no, pero que, like, él dice que no habla, but like, on this stuff, like,
No, y se desarrolla
he's
bien.
good, yeah,
Claro,
you know what I
y-
mean? So, like, don't be afraid to do that, because one of the things you said, what would you tell your younger self, is stop being afraid in a way, right? So,
And that's
you know,
actually what he's doing.
we're just here, pero, you know,
It's not his area. It's not, you know, where he,
this is not my area, lo mío es la pelota.
but he's, you know, he's going along and he's doing a great job, and he's, you know,
That's good. So, yeah, so now, what would you tell, like, let's close with something positive. You know, what would you tell the young generation out there?
Javi, tírale.
What would I tell the young generation out there? Another good question, man. I think I would tell them not to listen to a lot of the shit that's going on out there.
Okay.
I think you have to listen to not just one side but all sides and be smart enough and use your logic in a lot of things, because some of the things that's going on out there logically it just doesn't make sense. You know, not just from, again, you can talk about politics, you can talk about a bunch of different things. So I would say just be intelligent enough and just do your own research, and not listen to just one side or one person, one news channel, one anything. You know, you gotta be able to listen to all sides and make your own decision, make up your own mind on what's going on, whatever it is.
You know what? Vamos a dejarlo ahí porque ya he hit it right
He
on
hit all the topics.
y ya
All the right-
ya uno no puede decir nada. Pero estamos aquí con los Matatanes Podcast hablando, bebiéndonos nuestra salud, mi gente.
El agüita.
La agüita, un chin de agüita. So, sigan los Matatanes Podcast. Te denle a la campanita. Suscríbase. Vamos a traer más contenido de aquí de Northeast Ohio. Se le quiere de gratis. El papi Freddy. Amazon DR Papi. El Javi. Tenemos que buscarle nombre. Y su Matatán Edward. Ya ustedes saben de aquí. Checking out. Matatanes out.
Yer.